played several international matches in Pakistan, in Spain, in Germany, in England, and in Italy. And the climax was, he played for our country in 2004 Olympics in Athens, if I remember well. Living witnesses for the glory and contribution of this historic institution. This is no small institution. When I joined the school, the first job I did was to collect all the Now and Then magazines, Then and Now magazines, I'm sorry. It is Then first and then only Now. Then and Now magazines of the school. A few copies were missing. A grand old student of our school, Mr. Boat, gave me a few copies. I went to Mrs. Ellis' house and collected a few more. And from 1912 onwards, all the Then and Now magazines were collected. I rebound them in a green, beautiful bound, and I have kept them in the library. When I handed over all the documents and files to Mr. Edwin, my successor, I handed over all the Then and Now magazines. A set of 47 books. And I have remarked, Mr. Edwin may remember, most precious. I have mentioned it as most precious because it is a living witness. The history of the school, the way the school grew. If we ever forget that, the school will lose all its glory. I have mentioned only a few names. There are hundreds of Priya Sridharans, Vaman Balajis, Professor Rajendrans, Adam Sinclairs, who left the portals of this institution and are spread across the world like gems in a golden crown. I tell you, it is the Staneks who are the glory of this institution. That is why we cherish your memory. That is why we love to come to any Silver Jubilee reunion, whatever may be our situation and circumstances. It is the activities like school plays and the classics produced Divya Sridharan. Extracurricular activities like oratorical and debating competitions produced Vaman Balaji. Excellence in schooling and academic field produced a Professor Rajendra. Excellence in sports and games produced an Adam Sinclair. It is these teachers from the back, they have done these wonders. I remember a proverb which says, which is in the form of a question, what happened to yesterday's rain? What happened to yesterday's rain? It's forgotten. But the harvest is there for you to see. The rain or the teachers, the harvest or the Staneks. And it's for you to see the harvest even today. Probably teachers are forgotten, I am not there. Many of the old teachers are not there who have contributed all these memorable events. On this occasion, I would like to thank the teachers for doing a wonderful job. A small bit of service. It may be a corporate effort. It may be a joint effort by all the teachers in the school concerned. But it is done. I think we are missing him today. He got a triple centum in 12th standard and top rank in the total and stood first and hit the headlines. After that, he joined BITS Pilani, did twin engineering, mechanical and electronics together simultaneously. And after his graduation, he did his post-graduation in a red brick university in United States of America and completed his post-graduation, doctorate and post-doctorate, and is now currently working as a scientist in NASA in robotics. That is the standard. It is not only that. He comes to India every year as a visiting professor to BITS Pilani. Whenever he comes, he will be accorded a very big welcome because he is a top-class scientist. And when they introduce him, they will introduce him with all the papers he has submitted so far. But do you know how he will introduce himself? He will introduce himself as a Stanite from Coimbatore. He will openly declare in the college even today that Staines is his launch pad. And then he will ask all the students, are there anybody from Staines High School? One or two will get up and he will ask them, I'd like to meet you. This is the love and regards that our own Stanards have for the past school. Stanards have to pass school. That is why I call them as living witnesses to the glory of this institution. Living witnesses for the glory of this great institution. Another popular name, very popular name I would like to recall is that of Vaman Balaji. He was known as a spelling bee because the lower classes he used to always win in the spelling bee competitions. And I think those teachers are not here. Shanta Chandrasekharan, Geeta Agustin were in charge of this competition, preparing children for this competition always, sitting in the library. And afterwards, he became a very good orator and a debater. He has participated in a number of oratorical and debating competitions, and he was always a winner, unfailing winner. I have honored him in this very assembly hall so many times. And after completion of the school life, he sat for his CLAT examination. You all know, Common Admission Test for Law. Stood at top rank and joined the National Law School of India, a premier institution of our country. Became an attorney and is now working as an attorney in New York, having a very prestigious law firm, highly rated law firm. He helps a number of Stanites with their immigration problems because he is an immigration lawyer. Even today. Another living witness. I can go on. From now, by now you should have noticed that I have drawn the names from various disciplines of the school. I will be failing in my duty if I do not take up a student from the field of sports and games. The most obvious name that comes to my mind is Adam Sinclair. A frail little boy he was when he was doing his 6th standard. He was coming all the way from Podanur. He will be the first to come into the school, playing all alone in the hockey ground, hitting the ball into the goal post, waiting for his friends to come. Mr. Athanavel will be there already. Mr. Pandisamy, Mr. Balakrishnan and Mr. Badru will be joining them around 6:45. And unforgettable Mr. Claudius, the district coach, will be coming around 7 o'clock and the hockey coaching classes will begin. Adam Sinclair will be playing in the evening also. He was behind all the beautiful English classics which we have stayed in the school, and many students have always expressed very good appreciation of that. I would like to talk to you about the process of preparation for this place and the impact this place had on the life of children. While I was working in the school, my routine in the morning will be something like this. After finishing my early morning walk, I will be in my school office doing some preparatory work for the day and waiting for the cleaning staff to come. Palani will be the first to come. He will collect the school keys from the office and proceed to open all the classrooms. My standing instruction to him is to open 2A classroom first, because Mrs. Negley will be the first to come to the school. Believe me, she used to be here even during the summer holidays, writing scripts and dialogues for the next year's play. When the school reopens, she will co-opt other teachers like Mrs. Colasso, Mrs. Alvin, and others who have singing and dancing and dramatic talents. Individual practice sessions will go on in the month of June and July. And during the pre-quarterly holidays, all the actors will be pulled together and we will have full dress rehearsal throughout the holidays. And immediately on reopening, we will have the school play staged. The blood, sweat and toil by the teachers are responsible for the production of these memorable classics, which is very, very difficult, normally speaking. I remember My Fair Lady, Sound of Music, King and I, Ugly Duckling. I will go on telling because all these plays are in my memory. I have intensely enjoyed the practice sessions and sweating out by my teachers. I will tell you about the impact of these plays in future of these children. This Divya Sridharan, after completing her schooling, she joined Lady Shri Ram College, Delhi, a premier institution in our country, to do her journalism. Mind you, all the academic subjects will not introduce anybody to journalism. It is these classics that introduced her a taste in journalism. And after finishing her honors, she got a scholarship because her profile was so rich to do her post-graduation in the prestigious Warwickshire University in UK, where she did her sociology post-graduation. And after finishing that, she did another post-graduation in applied sociology and applied anthropology. And she became a top-class journalist. She is contributing articles to all the leading magazines and weeklies globally now. She has even written to our own Metroplus in Hindu. Happily married, settled down. She was very good in science and mathematics. She could have walked into any engineering college of her choice, but it is these English classics introduced her to sociology, anthropology, journalism. She became a journalist and contributing to the community. That is the role of Saints High School. I like to mention to you another very big Stanite, outstanding student of my school during my time. He was popularly known by his nickname Isaac Newton. It is Mr. Satyanarayanan who baptized him with that name. Is also there, you must know. Being young is of course beautiful, but I tell you from experience, being old is rather more comfortable. So I recommend that you must get old quickly. I am sure most of you are happily married and or even parenting. Parenting is one of the joys of life. But wait, let your son or daughter hit 16 or 17, you will understand that parenting is the most difficult job on the planet. We teachers are always very proud because We have been handling all of you together at that age with all your teen tantrums. I hope you have matured now, and I don't find any tantrums here, and I find you very quiet and listening to, and tendency is to become more and more philosophical. And any Silver Jubilee reunion is time to renew your old friendship and to relive the glorious days of your school life. I tell you, never will you get it back again. Every one of you must be having a lot of nostalgic memories about your school life, lot of reminiscences of our time. We teachers are no exemption. We have spent, in fact, much more years than you have ever spent. I have spent nearly 20 years, and some of my colleagues here have spent a little more than 30 years of their precious lifetime here in our school. So quite naturally, we should be having a lot of nostalgic memories. I accidentally slipped into the school in 1983, 34 years ago. The then chairman of the school board, Dr. M.V. Kurian, the correspondent, Mrs. Mercy Oman, and the then secretary of the school, Mr. Michael Ponusamy, helped me to settle down quickly. I have very fond memories of Mr. Michael Ponusamy. He was my mentor and guide in all school administration. He is the father of our present chairman, Dr. James. I have very, very fond memories of him. I have probably walked every inch of the school ground. I have probably climbed up and down and walked the corridors of this school so many times. So quite naturally, I should be having quite a number of very precious memories. But I'm not going to recall about my own personal memories. This being a Stanite get-together, I like to confine myself only to Stanites. After my retirement, I happened to meet quite a number of Stanites. They used to share their life, they used to share their achievements, they used to share their concerns, they used to appreciate all the school activities which have shaped them, and so on and so forth. I would like to mention a few of them who I will call living witnesses for the glory of this institution. Quite a few of them. There are hundreds whom I may not be able to personally name, though I would like to. It is the school activities, the experiences in the school, the encouragement given by the teachers that has shaped them. One such contact I would like to recall is Colonel Sridharan and his daughter Divya Sridharan. Probably many of you may know her taking a lead role in many of the English plays that you have been staging in the school year after year. Mrs. Nigley, to make this event possible and to make this event as grand and as memorable as possible. As I see you guys from here, all of you look really great and much more handsome than what you were 25 years ago. I really speak. And it's such a joy to meet so many of you well known to me. Probably I have forgotten many of your names, but your lovely faces I cannot forget. A few names stand out. Hina, I remember. Arjun, I remember Charles Sarunayam, I remember, and Sweta Krishnamurthy, and so many others. By name, I know them, I am able to recognize them. And I'm so glad to come back to the school and address you. Have you ever wondered why all of you look so beautiful at 40? Because the inner beauty comes out. I tell you, that is the reason why all of you are so amazing and beautiful. Some of you are of course a little heavier, some of you are of course a little older, but you are really awesome. As I see you from here, I really thank God for all the growth and development and all the fantastic achievements that you have made in your life. When I heard personally, when I meet you, and when I talk to you, I know all the achievement that you have done. The most exciting thing you will discover in Silver Jubilee reunion is this. I have attended several such reunions. Every one of you is successful. You have taken different directions to growth. You have progressed differently, but you have achieved in a remarkable level, and you're all looking very happy and beaming. That's the most important thing in any Silver Jubilee get together. And you're visibly happy. That's basically the standard spirit, I should call it. Most of you are in your early 40s. I have heard it said that life begins at 40. Is it true that life begins at 40? From your enthusiasm, I will know and I will believe the truth of this statement. Life really begins at 40. Because you are no longer young and stupid. You are no longer not yet old also. Young enough to be beaming all the time. Very confident. That's the amazing age, this particular group. That's why I always welcome a Silver Jubilee reunion rather than a Golden Jubilee reunion, where you can see quite a number of them coming on their wheelchairs. This is a lovely time for you to gather, come back to your school, renew your memories, and relive your golden age. I would like to share my analysis of different ages. I think at my age, I can be a little more philosophical. At 18, you were worried what others will think of you. At 40, you don't really care what others think of you. And at 60, you will understand that nobody is thinking about you. This is the fact of life, I tell you. That's why 40 is really great. Never will you be so young again, I tell you. At 40, you are on the top of the hill. From now on, you will pick up speed. That learning techniques. Learning techniques for peak performance. This is nothing but my school diary. All the assembly talks, all the classroom talks about learning this and that, I pulled them together, cemented them together because I had time after my retirement, and this is the form of a book. And in this book, the most important part is, I have dedicated this to my students. You can see this. I gave a copy of this to Mr. Kamesh. I have dedicated this to students because They are the reason why it is there. Today this book is being used in most of the training colleges as a supplementary reader. But it is the morning assembly, it is a little bit of talks, little bit of encouraging things that I spoke to in the various forums that are there in the pile up here. That is the greatness of this. Whenever we gather like this, we celebrate the importance of this school. This school is a significant component of the community of Coimbatore. This belongs to the community. When Robert Staines established the school and handed over to the trustees, that is the purpose. It should serve the community. I am very glad to hear from our chairman the directions in which this school is trying to grow. I am really glad about it. I am glad that the school looks so splendid today. They have made such a lot of improvement in the ambience of the school. I must congratulate Dr. James, Mrs. Mercy and her team for the work they have done. When I was here, we were only putting up buildings because we needed them. The school was fast expanding. When I took over the school, it had only 1,000 strength. And during my retirement, the strength was 2,600. So quite naturally, the school should have grown a lot. I really, when I stepped into the school, when I stepped into this hall, when I got into the stage, my memories go back to those 20 years of glorious life and all the living witnesses that the school could produce. The most monumental thing about the past students is this. If you go back, you can see the sports stadium. A monument built by the past students of the school who loved sports and games so much. That is their contribution, which enabled us to have that lovely auditorium and a sports hall, which no other school can ever claim at that point of time. I thank every one of you who have made this day. It is you who have made this day very special to us. I think some of you have brought your spouses here. I request them, you have tolerated them so far. Please extend your tolerance a little more, because these guys, when they meet a bunch of their old friends, they'll go back to their teenage. They'll forget you for some time. You can forgive them. It's quite understandable. I thank you for coming and seeing the proceedings. I thank you for the opportunity to share my memories. And I wish you all the best. I wish you a great day and a great reunion party tonight. Thank you very much.